Hello YouTube, and this is a one-stop shop guide for plane spotting in Hong Kong. And then Hong Kong is an airport that features three runways. You have 07 left and 25 right, which we will be referring to as the North runway. This runway is mainly in charge of landing. And then for 07C and 25C, this is the middle runway, and it will be in charge of both takeoff and landing. But please do keep in mind that this is only open for a limited time each day, and it will close at 2 p.m. each day. And then for 07 right and 25 left, this is the south runway, and then it is in charge of mainly takeoffs, but occasionally there will be some landings to the other side. So this is the layout of Hong Kong International Airport. You have three terminals, T1M, T1, and T1S. T1 is the main terminal and will be in charge of Cathay Pacific flights, and then there will also be international airlines like British Airways and Qatar Airways. And then for T1S, it is mainly in charge of narrow bodies from the Chinese mainland, and also some Southeast Asian narrow bodies like for example, Malaysia Airlines, and then also Thai Airways. And then T1S stands for Terminal 1 Satellite Concourse. And then for T1M, it stands for Terminal 1 Midfield Concourse. And then it will be mainly in charge of the two airlines that are Hong Kong Express and Hong Kong Airlines. And then these are the plane spotting spots like Gate 219, Smoking Zone 1, 2, and Skydeck, but we will get deeper into these later. This is the layout of the boarding gates of Hong Kong. You can see the three terminals, and then you can plan your plane spotting around these gates. Because, for example, if your gate is at 64, and then you're at Skydeck, and then you think that you don't know where gate 64 is, you just leave it 15 minutes. It will be hard to go from here to here without like running, and then running is never a good thing because you're just frantic, and then you may lose some stuff along the way, or maybe drop your camera. But I hope that doesn't happen. So it is important to know this map. Okay, so now we are gonna get into the plane spotting spots. So you have Smoking Zone 1 and 2, and then it is located in the departure hall for Hong Kong Terminal 1. And then you can see the Terminal 1 is like you can identify it through this. And then if you go into one of the four exits, you will be able to see all the check-in counters. So that basically is what entails for the departure hall. And then so Smoking Zone 1 is closer to the first entrance, and then Smoking Zone 2 is closer to the fourth entrance. And then you can see in the background that's 1, and then if you go deeper down that way, you could go to the Smoking Zone 1, and the same works like the other way. And then this is the results for Smoking Zone 1. And it's all shot at 300 millimeters, and then so because these are jumbo jets, super wide bodies, if you're gonna shoot narrow bodies, it'll be recommended to have more than 300 millimeters, or you could crop later. That's all okay. And then because even though this is an overcast day, you can still see it's like I have pinpointed where the sun's position, so you could plan your planet accordingly. And then this will be working for afternoon, and then that's where the sun is. And then this is the Smoking Zone 2 results, and then this is also shot at 300 meters, a EVA Air 787-10, which is also a wide body. So if you want to shoot a narrow body, you have to have recommended more than 300 millimeters. And then the Skydeck, which is the second spot, is located between Terminal 1 Satellite Concourse and Terminal 1. And then you can get pictures of all the runways, this is my favorite spot because you can literally get anything. And then planes that are taxiing as they come in from the north runway, and then planes that are landing in the north runway if there's an operating direction change. So normally the planes would just land from this way, and then they will come and they will tax here. But if there's a direction change, it will land right in front of you, and then it will go all the way and then take a U-turn and then come back through this way. So you will get this picture either way, no matter how it operates. You can also get pictures of the middle runway, but I don't have that because usually when I go to this spot, the middle runway is closed because it's after 2 p.m. But in general, you can see planes that are preparing to take off, or they will just take off right in front of you. And then if you go inside, go deep into the Skydeck, it's like a rectangle. You go deep into it, and then you turn around, you can see the planes leaving from the south runway. But it will be recommended to have more than 300 millimeters for this because it's quite the distance, yeah. Okay, so now this brings us to our last plane spotting spot, which is the Gate 219 Smoking Zone. And then It is located in T1 midfield concourse and access through tram if you're transiting here from Terminal 1. And then there are also a lot of angles and a lot of things you can photograph here. For example, you can photograph planes taxiing, cargo planes getting parked, or planes taking off. And then for those two, the taking off and parking, it is recommended to have more than 300 millimeters. But for taxiing, and then because the sample image is a 777, and then I shot it at 55 millimeters, but it could be more or less as like give and take. So for example, if you're shooting a 747 or just a large plane in general, maybe a little less, like 50, 45. And if you're shooting a narrow body like a A320 or 737, maybe 65 or 75 will do. But it doesn't really matter actually, because if you brought a long lens, you could also shoot things like the plane and then the details and all that. It will still have pretty good effects, in my opinion. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this guide, and if this was any help, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I wish you guys all the best in your plane spotting endeavors. And then my plane spotting pictures are on Instagram, and then this is the ID, and then my written guides are in RedNote, which is the same content as this video, but it is written. I mean, but the things are written in Chinese. But I mean, you could use the translator that is inbuilt in the app, which is pretty accurate. I'm still trying to find an app that is like RedNote, but it is Western. So if you have any suggestions, yeah, please leave it down in the comments.